Hey beautiful people, so finally the wait is over and over 100 Chinese embassies are now processing visas for international students to return to China. And not only for international students, but for APEC business card holders as well. Although most of the countries that have the majority of students or international students in China are already processing visas for their students to return to China. We understand that China has different diplomatic relations with different countries. So some countries might take a little bit longer to officially make this notice on their website, while some countries have already made this declaration that students can start applying for X1 and X2 visas to return to China. So I want you to just keep an eye on your embassy and also on your university. Check your emails and keep in contact or stay in contact with your university not to miss this important notice. So while thousands of students have already had their visas and are ready to return to China, there are two things that I'll talk about in today's video. The first one is the NOC letter, which is like the invitation letter from your university to say that you are welcome back to school and you can go to get your visas. So many universities have not sent these NOC letters. Why? I'll talk about that in today's video. And also the next thing that I'll talk about is about flight tickets. Even the students that got the NOC letter, got their JW202 forms, everything is set up, they've had their visas, they are still facing it so hard to get flight tickets or to get cheaper flight tickets. Why and how can you get flight tickets? I'll also be talking about that into this video. Okay, so but before we get into the details of this NOC and available flight tickets, there is a very important update that I'd like us to talk about, and this is an update of the health declaration form that has been updated. And this is something very important that I think you need to know. The health declaration form has been updated now for the 9th time, and this major update has something very important that I think you need to know. So there are 3 updates that have been made on this health declaration form. The first one is your vaccination history, which was one of the things that were asked in the previous versions. Now you don't have to worry about your vaccination history, you don't have to worry about your infection history, and you don't also have to worry about the latest PCR test. These are the 3 things that have been scrapped out of this health declaration form. So these are the 3 major updates that I picked out of the recent publication, but I'm going to leave a detailed explanation of this in the description box. So if you want to know the details of this recent update, just go down to the description box and I'm going to have the details of this recent update. Okay, so now that we are done with this recent update, now let's talk about NOC letters. This has been the talk of the day. So many universities have already sent these NOC or invitation letters, and so many have not yet sent their invitation or NOC letters. Now as a student, what do you have to do? I think there is no amount of emails or amount of notices that you send to the university that can hasten them to send your NOC letter. Just stay in contact with your university. Since I think over 60 to 70% of the universities have already sent their emails, please, the only thing you have to do now is be patient, because first of all, most universities are still on their summer vacation break, which means that the staff offices are not fully operational right now. So this can be one of the reasons that are slowing the process of receiving your NOC letters. And also, different universities are located in different districts, in different localities with different government policies. Maybe the location of your university might just be in a city where the government policies are a little bit strict or a little bit slower to take effect. So you just have to be a little bit patient, and we are sure that as we go closer to September, more and more universities will send NOC letters and JW202 forms to students. And for those who have already received their JW202 forms and NOC letters, I heard some students from India were saying those who went with soft copies were rejected. It is just for you now to relate back to your university and say the soft copies were rejected and you have to mail us the original copies of the NOC letters and the JW202 forms. and give them the exact information that your embassy have said, and I'm very sure that the universities are going to react back to you accordingly. Now let's talk about flight tickets. I'm gonna say about three or four things about flight tickets. The first one, there's nothing we can do now to make the flight tickets to be down or to be less expensive, because we have very limited flights to China right now. And you know, these airlines have been out of business for several months. So they're going to do everything now to try to cover up all the losses that they've made. So getting cheaper flights now will be almost very impossible, especially immediately. And also we have very fewer flights that have been approved to China now. So the very few flights that we have right now will definitely charge more. So what I advise you to do is not to hurriedly go for your visas right now or for your flights right now, because for the next, let's say 3 months, flight tickets are going to be expensive. So if you can wait until say January, February or March, you're going to get cheaper flight tickets. So if I were you, I wouldn't even hurry to go for my visa now, because normally if to say the visa lasts for 3 months, if you get the visa now and you don't travel within 3 months, it's going to expire and you will have to go for another visa. So if I were you, I would just observe the flight tickets right now. Unless your country is maybe India, Pakistan, or this really neighboring countries to China, where you won't have to spend thousands of dollars to travel to China. For those who are in other continents like in Europe, in America, in Africa, those faraway continents, if I were you, I wouldn't even bother to travel to China now. I would wait for say January, February, or even March, where everything would have almost been normalized and I'll get cheaper flight tickets. And also with flight tickets, the more you check, the more expensive flights you're going to see. If you use the same browser to check your flights, to check updates every now and then, you will continuously find expensive flights. So each time you're checking, it's good to check from an incognito window so that these browsers will not recognize your previous searches and they're going to give you updated results. And also another trick here, we have domestic online travel agencies and international online travel agencies. To have cheap flight tickets, it is advisable to use domestic online travel agencies rather than international online travel agencies, because the international online travel agencies will give you expensive flights as compared to domestic online travel agencies. I'm going to display a list of some domestic online travel agencies that you can use to get cheaper flight tickets. And also you can set a tracker to track their prices to send you emails when they go up. You need to have a baseline price. For example, say my baseline price is $1,000 and the price is now at $3,000. So you need to set like a tracker for them to send you an email each time the prices are lower or closer to your targeted price. So you can set like an email notification and they will send you updated emails each time the flight tickets are closer to your targeted price. That's also a trick that you can use to get updated each time the flight tickets are getting lower and lower. Apart from that, what you just need to do now is to be patient. No need to hurry, because online classes will still continue nevertheless, because not everyone will be able to return to China right away. So even as students are struggling to find their ways into China, universities will still continue with online classes. And don't be surprised that even some of the students that will find their way into China now, they will still have online classes for a couple of months while they're doing the quarantine, while they are waiting. And even with the pandemic situation in China, some universities might still continue with online classes. So there is no need to rush to pay exorbitant prices for flight tickets right now, where you can be a little bit patient for maybe 3 or 4 months. Maybe in March next year, you're going to get at least average prices for your flight tickets. Well, that's all I had to share with you guys today. If you have more updates, if you have more tricks and tips, if you have more different updates from your universities, from your embassies, from different countries, feel free to reach to us in the comment section below, or join our WhatsApp group and let's communicate, let's make friends, and let's help each other. This is Business Connect. Thank you for watching so far. If you're not yet subscribed, please don't leave the video without subscribing to the channel. Like the video, share it with someone. I'll see you in my next video. Peace out and bye bye.